Hi guys, it's Millie and welcome to Let's Talk Personal Finance, the channel where we discuss how to make money and how to manage it. In this video, we're going to be looking at whether or not it is possible to live debt-free in South Africa. I'm talking about whether or not you can live a life with all the bells and whistles, where you can go on lovely vacations, you have a beautiful car, a lovely house, all without debt, and as a consequence, without credit score. Now, if you guys watched my last video, I spoke all about credit scores and how you can improve your credit score. But in this video, we'll be looking at whether it's possible to live an amazing life whilst being debt-free, meaning you don't have a credit score. Please note, none of my videos constitute as financial advice. If you're looking for financial advice, please speak to a certified financial advisor. Now, before we proceed, I would kindly ask that you please subscribe to this channel and you like this video. It really helps me out. You can also share this video with your friends and family. For some context, I thought about this topic when I was watching one of Dave Ramsey's videos here on YouTube. Now, Dave is an American personal finance personality, a radio show host, a businessman, and an author. He authored a book called The Total Money Makeover, which talks about paying off debt and living debt-free through a series of steps, which he calls the baby steps. Now, if you would like me to make a dedicated video about Dave Ramsey's baby steps and all the tips and tricks that you can use to become debt-free, please leave a comment down in the description box. Now, the first thing we need to talk about when we are discussing living debt-free is personal lines of credit. Now, this includes using credit facilities such as credit cards, an overdraft facility, and personal loans. It is definitely possible to live comfortably in South Africa without ever needing any personal lines of credit, as long as you have an adequate emergency fund. I have two videos on emergency funds on my channel. One that talks about why it's important to have an emergency fund as a person, and another that talks about why it's important to also have an emergency fund for your business, and I've linked them in the iCard above. So if you're interested and you'd like to watch those videos, do check them out. Now, another point that I hear people talk about when it comes to the use of credit card is when they're traveling and they're going on vacations. Some people believe that you cannot travel comfortably without the use of a credit card. But in actual fact, you can actually go on vacation and pay for your accommodation using a debit card. Now, not all hotels actually accept debit cards, but there definitely are some that will. If you pay for a hotel room using your debit card, you will have to pay more money upfront. That will then cover damages or any in-room charges that you might incur during your stay. Now, this amount of money that you pay upfront will be refunded to you after your stay. This process is known as a debit card hold. It is inconvenient, but it does make vacationing whilst you're debt-free possible. Now, it is also possible to buy items that you need on a daily basis, such as appliances or even clothes and food and all of that, without actually having to use credit. You can have different sinking funds for replacing different appliances that you might need. For bigger purchases, such as buying a car, it is also possible to live debt-free. Now, I have a friend who wanted to buy his car cash, and he decided over a period of several months to save up money, and he bought his first used car for about 60,000 rands. Now, after he had bought this car, he continued saving monthly, and he could afford to do this because he didn't have a car payment. And he then saved a further 100,000 rands. sold his first car, and now had 160,000 rands, which he could now use to buy a better used car. Now, you can use this model to also buy a car. So if you want a car that's worth 300,000 rands, it doesn't necessarily mean that the first car you buy has to be 300,000 rands. You can have a 5-year plan where you buy small cars and you incrementally buy a larger, better, and more expensive car over the years until you actually have enough cash saved up to buy the car of your dreams debt free. Going back to Dave Ramsey's baby steps, he believes and he recommends that people should live debt free, but he does make exceptions when it's your first time buying a house. So if you want to be a homeowner, he recommends that you should have a 10 to 20% down payment, and then you can take out a mortgage. Now, I wanted to find out if it's actually possible to do this in South Africa. So if you're following Dave's baby steps, by the time that you decide to buy a house, you will be debt free, completely debt free. You have a fully funded emergency fund, and you will have a credit score of 0 because you have no debt. Now, I wanted to find out if it's possible to buy a house in South Africa with a credit score of 0 and absolutely no debt. So this is pretty much going to a bank and saying, hey, I have no credit history for you to look at, but I'd like to buy a house. Is it possible? Can you give me money? And because of this, it means that you will probably have to talk to several different people from the same bank to get different perspectives and to actually get someone who will be able to assist you in getting a home loan with a credit score of 0. Now, an easier way of doing this is to go to a bond originator who basically goes and applies to several South African banks on your behalf and says, hey, I have this person, they want to buy an apartment or a house, and how much money can you give them? What interest rates can you offer them? And they will help you throughout that process. Now, I approached a bond originator to find out if it's possible for me to get a home loan without a credit score, and she did inform me that yes, she can assist. Bond originators can assist you in getting a home loan without a credit score. They will need to look at your employment history, how much you're earning. If you don't even want to get a mortgage or a home loan to buy your home, it's also possible. So you can save up money now. It would definitely take longer than it would take you to save up money to buy like a secondhand car, but you can spend several years saving up cash, and then you buy your first inexpensive small apartment. That way you won't have a mortgage or home loan to pay off, and then once you're living in that apartment, you can start saving up more money, and every couple of years you can upgrade and move to a better, nicer, and more expensive apartment. So it's definitely possible to live debt free in South Africa. Okay, so that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. The whole point of this video was to show that it is possible to live debt-free in South Africa. It is possible to start a business using cash without any debt. It's possible to buy a car without incurring any debt. It's possible to get a house without a credit score or even without incurring any debt. The whole point is to start a discussion, and please don't forget to like and comment on this video if you enjoyed it. Share it with your friends and family. And remember, guys, you're never too old or too young to talk about personal finance. Toodles!